The Yellowbirds by Kevin Powers, an Iraq War veteran, wrote a fictional novel that follows Private John Bartle during the Iraq War, where he meets Private Daniel Murphy and soon Staff Sergeant Sterling, one who can be ruthless but helps out the young privates with guidance through their battles. Throughout the novel, it flip-flops through life at war and life after war, and you see the struggles in which Private Bartle goes through both mentally and physically. The biggest part of his mental state, where he just seems like a lost highway throughout, who stays distance away from his friends and mother when he is stateside. And what you can take from it is to think before you join. As the son of both parents who served during the Gulf War, and in which both my grandfathers joined up also during the Vietnam War, though out of all of those who served, only one who put the most effort into thought about joining and deciding to join the Air Force, because he knew it would be the safest for him and he would be able to return to a bed each night, still be able to serve his country. Where my dad's father joined up because it was always what he wanted to do and had his mind set on it, even denied the offer given by the Detroit Lions to play pitcher. My father, following his father's footsteps, joined because of what it was felt he was destined to do. My mother joined because she saw a movie on the woman at West Point. Though my father and mother left after 5 years and my mother's father served for only 5 years, fortunately, they did not witness any problems mentally or physically from the experience in the armed service. My grandfather, however, did. He witnessed physical damage in his leg where he walked with a limp, and mental damage, and was diagnosed with PTSD, or known as post-traumatic stress disorder, and was diagnosed at his death, while my grandmother had no idea that he'd lived with it ever since his last tour in Vietnam. My grandfather did what Private Bartle did: go home and drink and keep their feelings locked away from family, friends, and help. Private Bartle did receive a survey of questions in a group setting that was supposed to be a strategic set of questions that decided whether or not he was ready to go back into the real world. But one can always get around those and pick the best answer to stay away from mental treatment, especially when being surrounded by one's peers. The United States needs to treat the troops who experience the horrors of war better than what Private Bartle experienced. That each and every troop gets one-on-one, not paper and pen, but word to word. And that everyone should receive a longer evaluation before they are finally dismissed from service and put into a controlled environment and also the real world, so they can receive the help they needed if needed, so they will not hurt themselves or the ones they love. This is a major problem that's being cut down because of the lack of funds towards psychiatric evaluation, and needs to receive more funds so the troops who serve have guidance and help them through the transition from carrying a gun and neutralizing the enemy to a place of a built-up society in a way, and now carrying a pen and a laptop to boost the economy. Also, federal government needs to change the recruiters' attitude to giving people to sign up and to put more of an effort on all the physical and mental damage they can receive from signing up, and the sacrifices they will have to make first and foremost, such as the away from home, giving up a sleep routine, and the safety of their homes in exchange for being surrounded by the enemy, and even paying the ultimate sacrifice. To help them go in with knowing with confidence in their choice in the future, than joining and being blindsided later on. With a number of people signing up today because of the benefits they receive, such as health care, food, and care, for their wife or husband and their children, such as a home, they'll pick up MOS that isn't a combat battalion, and not think they will ever see combat because the recruiters skim through the section of combat and are doing an injustice to those who serve, because many of those who are not in combat positions have still been ambushed by IEDs and suicide bombers. I believe if we the people change the ways of how the system is set up, we can treat the ones who are protecting our freedoms with better care and give a bigger precautionary to what can happen to them by joining the armed forces. As one who has seen the problems faced by troops returning home and getting back into the workplace by volunteering at veteran hospitals and seeing the problems in my own family, I believe we owe them the help and knowledge of the horrors of war that they deserve.